Stories from the Shadows is a Lemon Difficult studio production. Join us on Patreon at patreon.com/lemondifficult for free access to all our podcast episodes, behind-the-scenes content for the Key of Dreams and more. That's patreon.com/lemondifficult. Welcome to Stories from the Shadows, a collection of weird tales of the mysterious and macabre, an offering from the team at Lemon Difficult Studio, featuring the cast of our live immersive show, The Key of Dreams Shadows Lengthen, and special guests. These stories are dark tales of misery and woe. Listener discretion is advised. As is tradition at the conclusion of a story strain, we bring you insight into the characters of the tale through fragments of their souls held fast in lead suspended in bottles. Today, we share the memories of John, the doctor wishing to prove himself so much that ethics are disregarded, performed by Ellis J. And of Sarah, the poor wife experimented upon by husband and offered freedom by a different evil, performed by Alice Bloomer. We cross now to the village just outside Treowen, where a broadcast of Borderline Radio is already in progress.
Borderline Radio presents Stories from the Shadows, pleasing terrors for the discerning listener.
It is said that in any old house, the dead outnumber the living. Nowhere is this more true than at Treowen Manor, where the voices of the dead can be heard if you know how to listen.
Many seeds grow in the shadow of the trees. William tells me that the essential salts, the iteration upon which is the root of our experiments, are in all truth derived from human cadavers. Most ghoulish, no. He tells me so with that essence of professional mischievous perversity enlivening his eyes, which leads me to the conclusion that he is pulling upon my leg. Still, it is hardly as niche a prospect as it seems to enlightened ears. I studied with a man who once swore upon the efficiency of mummy powders. To hear him tell it, the application of the ground remnants of exotic corpses could treat all manner of ailments. The irony that he now commands the respect of peers while I break ground in obscurity is not lost upon me. William's commitment to his prank, however, is to be commended. This evening, when night fell, he launched a sudden departure from our research beneath the cover of a heavy waxcloth cloak, bearing a shovel and hooded lantern in search of ingredients. I watched the orb of dim gaslight disappear in the direction of the local graveyard. It is apparently not enough to spin the yarn these salts were once thought to return life to the dead. You must now play at being a different kind of resurrectionist. His absence at least gives me the opportunity to check upon our patient. The patient's effect is, after some weeks of treatment, intriguingly altered. A tendency to see things in shadows others cannot perceive. A sensitivity to odor and color, as if they had substance. A near obsession with the paper on the walls is tryingly mundane. After all, what we seek is to crack the skull open to the cosmic. In that way, the tale of these salts giving new life isn't far off the mark. As I make my notes, I notice William has scrawled another of his strange warding words on the threshold. It was akin to the ancient Roman abracadabra method, a word they thought would protect them against malaria. Though with what he claims is a still older and stranger language. I erase it, naturally. Perhaps I should prescribe him a dose of Miss Winslow's morphine-rich soothing syrups, as if to calm a child's wails. I would consider indulging his caution, you understand. But it is my wife we are treating, so I do believe it should be the husband's prerogative. Roots run deep.
Many seeds grow from the shadow of the tree. When did this begin? What, looking back, was the opening gambit? Did we truly come here to this mess of patterns penumbral, this prison disguised in airy space and grounds? Did we come here because my strength fled my limbs and trembling panic too often fluttered my mind? Or did John make my health fail so he could bring me to this house? Did he sneak tonic into my wine at dinner or lace our packets of tea with herbs? I recall, when I was young, a girl just beginning to guess at the frailty of soul and body, and disquiet caught my breath and tremored my hands. Father would sit me down at the chessboard. He would not hold back. It took all my mind to stay in the contest, and the world outside the board would fade to watercolors. By the time the game ended and I was back in my body, my breath would have returned. Now, I understand. This room is just the same, now that I have seen the paper on the walls in day and night, black and white. I comprehend the bulbous shapes in the sunlight and the woman trapped in lines neath the moon. It is but another chessboard, only one played slantwise in the peripheral of one's mind. This board too makes the world beyond fade to abstract, for this game is all existence. And now I know the rules, and John does not. When John and I used to play, when I would reach for the board and smile my tentative asking permission smile, and he would nod with fond damning indulgence. When we used to play and I would beat him, he always made out that he had let me win. Oh, my beloved and rational husband would never be so crass or ungentlemanly as to say it aloud. But his every wry smile, his wrinkled brow, his back-bitten congratulations would scream it. Imagine his surprise when he discovers, too late, that the Queen of Day and the Queen of Night have conspired under his nose, and I rip the walls open to free us from the board entire. Roots run deep.
That is not dead, which can eternal lie, and with strange neons, even death may die. So this story and song will say goodbye.
That was Stories from the Shadows, presented by Borderline Radio. Join us again tomorrow at the intersection of sanity and revelation.
Thank you for listening to Stories from the Shadows, an audio production from Lemon Difficult Studio. If you enjoyed today's story, be sure to follow us on socials and join our Patreon at patreon.com/lemondifficult for exclusive rewards. Members of our free tier have access to all episodes of Stories from the Shadows, as well as behind-the-scenes content and the latest updates on our live immersive show, The Key of Dreams: Shadows Lengthen. Until next time, dream by daylight.